Graduation season is here, and even if there isn't a big celebration, you can still celebrate at home and make it special. So today, I'm going to show you how to make a fun graduation jar that's perfect for a graduate of any age. Could be kindergarten, high school, or even college, and you can fill it with something fun and special for them. And to make it all easy and dry quickly, we're going to be using Aleene's Turbo Tacky Glue. So in addition to our adhesive, we're going to need a jar. You can choose any size that works for you. You can also use a recycled jar. You're going to need a black piece of cardstock, a smaller sheet of white paper, a pen or marker, yellow yarn, one black button, a scissor, and a ruler. All right, let's get started. For our first step, we're going to take the lid off of our jar. We're going to put our lid on the side to measure it. And we're going to take our pen and we're going to draw a line, and then we're going to roll it down till we make a complete turn and make another line. And then we're going to cut out that strip. Next, we're going to take our ruler and we're going to measure a 3.5 inch by 3.5 inch square. Next, we're going to cut out our square. We're going to create a wrap that goes around our jar. So you want to figure out what width you would like to create your wrap. So go ahead and lay your jar on your piece of paper and you can determine how wide you want your wrap to be. You also want to make sure that you cut a strip long enough to fit around the jar. Now we're going to grab our lid and we're going to start to put together the top, which is going to be our graduation hat. We're going to use our Aleene's Turbo Tacky Glue, and we're going to apply a small amount to the side of the jar. I love that the Turbo Tacky Glue dries fast, especially when you're working on a simple project or doing something last minute. Next, we're going to take our square, which is going to be the top of our graduation hat. And I'm actually just going to apply a little bit of the glue in the center. And then I'm going to take my top of my hat, use my finger, and just apply a slight amount of pressure so it gets tacky and adheres in the center. Next, we're going to wrap our jar. So making sure that you place whichever side of the jar you want to be the front, face down. Set your jar in the center, and we're going to place a line of glue on each end of our paper. I'm going to fold our paper up. I also love that this tacky glue is multi-surface. All right, we're going to set our jar aside for a second and we are going to make our graduation tassel. So we're going to take our yellow yarn and we're going to use our hand to create our tassel. And then I'm going to wrap it around my fingers. And I'm spreading my fingers out so that my tassel will be a little bit longer. I'm going to carefully keep my loops intact, and I'm going to lay it down on the table. I'm going to take an additional piece of my string and I'm going to feed it through the top of my loop. We're going to tie a knot at the top of the loop and I'm going to cut my loops. I'm going to take my extra piece and I'm going to tie a knot at the top. You can take one last look at your tassel, and if you have a bunch of ends that aren't the same, you can trim them, or if you're okay with them being different lengths, you can leave them as is. And tassels usually hang down over the edge of the hat, so you can determine how far you'd like it to hang down. You may even want to take your jar and set your lid on top and see how far would you like your tassel to hang over the edge. We're going to take a small amount of our glue, put a dot in the center, and I'm going to put them in that glue. Next, I'm going to add one more dot of glue on top of the yellow yarn, and then I'm going to take my button and I'm going to place my button right on top. My strip of paper is 3 by 6, but you can adjust it however you see fit. So here's where you can write a fun message to the graduate. So this one is going to be for Billy. And then we're going to roll this message up. And you'll want to hold it there a second because we want it to stay as curled as possible. Now what you do want to make sure is that when you would unravel it, your message reads right side up. Take our glue and take a small dot of glue and put it on the yarn. And then keeping the end of our message facing forward, so you want it to face up, we're going to place our scroll on the yarn. You're going to have to lift it up and hold it with your finger because you don't want to glue it to the table. So hold it in place for just a second until it becomes tacky enough to stick on its own. And we're going to tie a tight bow. We're going to take a small amount of glue and we're going to put it just on that yarn. We're going to screw on our top. And I'm going to go grab some fun stuff to fill up our jar. I love how these jars turned out, and I've got 2 samples for you, so you can do a big or a small, and think about the different things you could fill it with. Candy, chocolate coins, or maybe some real coins. You can have a lot of fun with this and surprise your graduate. And remember, they then can open up the scroll and read the message that you shared with them. All right, to find more great ideas for celebrating graduation at home, make sure to visit Aleene's website and follow them on social media. There's lots of other great projects to inspire you and your family. And as always, you can follow me at CraftBox Girls or over on craftboxgirls.com for more great projects with my favorite Aleene's adhesives. Happy crafting and happy graduation. Bye, guys.